block here. And we have already seen so many citizens gathering in the city center. And also we can see some visitors here. There is a horse carriage to pick up the visitors. And today we also have two special guests. These are two senior tour guides from Tallinn. And today is very important for that because it is the Independence Day celebration for them. And these two are wearing very traditional costume of Tallinn. So first of all, I'll let them introduce the costumes. So they have just introduced to us that for their costumes, it is very popular in 500 years ago. This is a specialized costume for a upper class nobilities. For the style of their costumes, it is a representation of modernized citizens, including their hats and the costumes, and also some accessories. She said that she's wearing the costume and she was acting as the wife of the merchant. And this silk, this costume, is very expensive. If the merchant is very rich, so the lady will look more beautiful. And they also wear some very expensive and delicate jewelries and accessories. She said that in the medieval times, this costume can actually purchase 2 horses. So it's very expensive costume. You said that for the clothes, the costume, they actually traded by copper, because at that time, copper have the same status of gold. It's very high value for the copper. So only those very rich landowners and the nobles can afford to purchase such kind of clothes. It's also an indication of their power. So let's take a look to the old town and the city center of Tallinn. Let's take a look to the cultural exhibition. So for some of the buildings were actually destroyed by warfares in the past. Later on, the local people reconstruct some of the architectures, so we can see a lot of modernized architecture here right now, and we can also see McDonald's and some of the other restaurants are in the city center. We will follow the street, the virus street, and pretty soon we will arrive at the town hall. And there is a black steeple architect, which is the symbol of Tallinn. And for that architect, it has almost 600 years of history. And we also see some street artists. So for the old town, it was composed of several streets that was paved by the cobblestone. There were around 8 main streets here. Between the main streets, we have alleys and other side streets, just like Hutong in Beijing.
Most famous guardsman. There's a story behind him, quite interesting, a very romantic story. But that statue, by legend, would be over, I think, 600 years old. Not that particular statue, that's the 4th Thomas. But the statue that have been on top of that building over there, really, really old. One of the oldest legends of 600 years.
他介绍说，我们看到的这个塔林的标志性建筑，也就是在很多宣传画上可以看到的具有代表性的这个城镇大厅，它是由一个古老的传说。这个传说啊，
The gentleman just introduced to us that for this signature architect, you can actually see in a lot of tourism brochures. Actually, there is also a romantic legend associated with that.
So it's like a real for World War II.
So in March comics, yeah, so a lot of the town was destroyed. Yeah, but old Thomas, a bomb fell upon him. So the dome of the tower, that was shattered along with Thomas. But the only remaining Gothic style town hall in the world that remained was protected us. That's the legend.
他跟我们说，在第二次世界大战的时候，其实在这里有一些街道被破坏了。就比如说，像这个标志性的这个城镇大厅，它在当时啊。
He told us that during the World War II, some of the streets were destroyed here because of warfare. At that time, the mayor of Tallinn has made some preservation in this area, so he actually protected this area from the attack from the atomic bomb. So people from Estonia feel very proud of him and also proud of their history. So now we are heading to the Culture and Arts exhibition. On the left side, you can see another famous architect here.
And here you can see on the upper floors we have still the medievality preserved because it's forbidden to remake them. So those paintings, for example, they still have the original coat of paint on them. When you're walking around in old town, always keep your eyes on the second and third medievality, medieval times in the high.
我们现在站的这个位置啊，就是塔林市的中央，这个古城中央。如果我们在这里环顾四周，可以看到视野很开阔。他说，如果你想对这个塔林古城有一个比较深刻的认识，我们可以朝上看。在我的右手边，也就是大家看到啊，这个前面是他们比较有名的这个天主教的教堂。这个距离现在已经有700年的历史。
If you want to better understand the old town, you can look ahead. Have a very famous church. Also have hundreds of years of history.
But it used to be called the Puck House. So this was a storage house for the wealthiest of merchants. This is where they kept the imported goods. And they only allowed the local populace to purchase them twice a week. So they created a demand. The Hansa merchants that traded here, they were really, really good at it.
这个老汉沙为什么这么有名呢？我们看到它表面上来看，其实就是一个吃饭和喝酒、喝咖啡的地方。但其实啊，这个老汉沙是有来历的。在中世纪的时候，因为这个北欧还有
This area is very famous.
德国北部的这个汉沙城市，他们形成了一个联盟，叫汉沙同盟。这个在当时是无论是从军事
Because there's also a history associated with that. During the medieval times, there is an alliance formed between Estonia as well as the Lufthansa. That's how this Lufthansa region was formed. Only the nobilities and people with power can enter into this alliance.
Every time you see those kind of stone statues in front of a house, that used to be where they wrote down who lived there, what did they produce, what could you buy, what virtues did they uphold. They notified the patron saint of the house. So these are called ethics. And every house used to have one of those inside. So that's the way. It's like a business card, yeah? So you walk around the town, you're a foreign merchant looking to do some business, and you walk behind a house that is wide, that has big windows, smells of expensive spices coming out, and you read from the ethics what you can do there. That's the man you go to. Yeah. So this is pretty much your business card and your advertising right there.
Very rich merchant lives here.
As you can see from upstairs as well.
我们看到它这个建筑跟别的建筑不太一样，因为这个建筑当时是他们这里可以说是最有钱的土豪才有这个可能来住到这个区域里。他们在这个门口这种，我们朝近看一下，它这种有点像这个灰色的石灰岩。
This architecture is quite unique from the others.
是在我们现在看来是一个名片，它在当时啊会把他们具体做什么。他们从事什么样的工作
If people live in this area, meaning that they're extremely rich in the old times.
有一些外来的人，比如说他们想来到塔林中央跟他们做生意啊，可以在这上面获取一些信息，这样的话就可以找到对的人，做对的事。
You can see the walls are actually paved by the limestone.
How many tourists that you expect for like annually?
Some of the information are actually written on the limestone. If people want to do business in Tallinn, they can actually find some of the contact information from this limestone wall.
And the rest of them are coming in from wherever, on planes, by just ferries. But the cruise ships, they form about 7,000 people.
And we also have a beautiful Christmas market, so Christmas time is very popular as well. It's over here, the beautiful market with the snow.
他说每年塔林古城会有2次是这个游览的旺季，一个呢就是现在这个时候啊有很多这种往返的游轮，他们往返于这个波罗的海，有些是从北欧啊，从这个德国、法国，甚至意大利和克罗地亚那边过来的这个游览的人，这个游客，他们这个今天啊就有7000人次的这个游客，可见他们。
And also they introduced that there were many cruises coming in and out of this area. Some of the cruises are coming from Baltic Sea, and some of them maybe from Germany and other countries. And to date, they have 7,000 visitors here at Tallinn.
巨大的圣诞树。然后我们现在看左手边这个灰色的建筑，就是塔林最古老的，也是
And during Christmas
塔
time,
林历史的
here will be a big Christmas
它
bazaar.
的城镇大厅。
And last year I
它
was
已经
here,
有700
and
年
also
的
I
历史
could see a very large Christmas tree
可以看到
in the
虽然700
center
年过
of the
去了
city.
但它依然保存得非常好。
And for the
这里也变成了一个
architecture on my left side, it is the most ancient architecture from Tallinn,
度假的一个场所。
So my
which
friends,
has
you have arrived at the
700
old
years
town
history.
square, yeah? And this is one of the only remaining
But still you can
Gothic-style
see,
town
even though
halls.
700 years
The
has been
locals
passed,
take, very
this
great pride in
architecture is
But
well preserved.
It's actually a reminder to us what could have been. You see, the entire
People
town
would
was
like
built
to,
by the Hansa merchants,
spend
and
their
when they
spare time
left,
here
they took all of the
and take a
wealth with
travel.
them, all of the money to the other Hanseatic cities. So the locals, they got stuck in the Gothic age. So there was no money to progress into new eras. Yeah, so Renaissance and Baroque and Classicism, those never
Just
came.
skip.
Yeah, they didn't skip. They just never came. So they reused whatever they could find. But luckily, thanks to that fact, we can now witness what the Gothic style building used to look like. So, two-age plate.
他跟我们说啊，这个城镇大厅上面记录了他们过去的一段历史，它是最传统的哥特式建筑。那么当时这个建筑啊是这种有钱人的象征，当时的这个贵族还有商贾啊，他们把这个城镇大厅建好了之后，这个汉沙同盟衰落，逐渐衰落，因为当时越来越多的
It just told us that this architecture is in the Gothic style, and it represents rich and nobility of the time.
所以当时的有钱人呢，就把他们手上的钱，还有这些资源都带走了。但是因为这个建筑啊，它带不走的，所以建筑
At that time, there were so many maritime
当时还有一部分
transactions
的
with opening
社会
up
底层的，或者说
with the
没有什么钱的人
countries.
留下来
The Hanseatic
那
League
么在这个中世纪
become
过去之后，
declining.
我们又到了
Some of the rich
这个欧洲
people
的传统这个复兴文艺复兴时期啊，
take some of
包
the
括后面的这种巴洛克式的风格啊，这些东西
some of the
在
wealth
欧洲
away.
其他地区在盛行的时候，由于爱沙尼亚人他们当时没有钱了，经济重心转移了，所以这个哥特式的这个城镇大厅啊就没有被更新换代。所以呢，这个在当时来看可能是一个就是衰弱的象征啊，但是在现在看来呢，是一笔非常宝贵的这个历史财富。
We see the decline of the Hanseatic League, but still it is a fortune for the history.
这也是目前
Because of that fortune, we can well preserve
的建筑
this kind of architecture.
最宝贵的一座之一。
It is one of the most precious medieval architect in Europe.
So it's amazing. I mean, it's like a double edge, as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the old times, it might be like a heartbreaking story, but for nowadays,
It's amazing.
yeah, it's lucky. Yeah.
So that we can witness this and look at it.
Yeah, it's like we can live inside the medieval times for all my life, and even for the future.
Yes.
Yeah, happy for you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's very lovely talking to you. Thank
And
you.
do enjoy your little walk around the old town of Tallinn.
Thank you so much. You already did.
Maybe we will
Of
see
course
you
we
once
will.
again.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank you. Bye bye. 好的，那么现在我们就来到了塔林的市中央。那在这里啊，也是游客
Now we're at
平
the
时聚
city
集的一
center
个
of
中心的
Tallinn.
区域和集散地。现在请摄像同志跟我们一起。
Some of the visitors would like to gather here, so I would like to take a closer look at the city center.
这也是塔林
Now we're
最
going
古
to
老
the
的
Culture and Arts Exhibition
制药
of
区
Tallinn.
这个制药区到现在有480年的历史。我们现在就
So for this site, it has around 480
可以
years
看到，
old.
在这个广场中央，基本上都是餐厅，还有很多游客在这里。
Because very bustling atmosphere
因
here,
为是
this street is
正午
full
12
of
点，
restaurants
现
and
在还不算
visitors.
太多。根据这两天的经验，
Now it's 12
他们
o'clock.
一般在下午1点到3点之间是人最多的
Probably
因为现在
we
太阳
will
有点
expect
晒
more people to come into this area.
塔林
Based on my
有一个
knowledge,
明显的感觉
at
就是
around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, more people will come to the city
早
center.
上我们之
And
前
I
过来
also
拍
felt
一些素
that
材的时候
the pace of life
发
is
现
quite
有好多
slow.
就是我们到的时候大概是9点多，有好多小摊还没有摆开。
In the morning, we are coming here to prepare for our live
正
streaming.
式的这种
That was 9 a.m. and that was quite empty on the streets, not too much restaurants. Because the official visit time for this area starts from 12 p.m.
我们现在请这个药店的主管给我们简单介绍一下，在过去爱沙尼亚人他们都用什么东西来治病。
This is a pharmacy store which has a 480 years old. I would like to understand what kind of drugs or medicine that
Thank you for joining
the
us.
Estonia people used in the past.
这位是凯瑟琳，她是这个药店的主管。
So she is Catherine. She is the person in charge for this pharmacy.
How many ages?
They're from 15th century, so they're almost as old as this pharmacy, which is 600 years.
有600年的历史。抱歉，我刚才说错了。这个600年之前，我们来看一下当时的。
So sorry, I just made a mistake. For this pharmaceutical store, it has around 600 years old.
So we can see some of the bottles and containers here.
Yeah, they're all for containing the medicines back in 15th century, where here we can see the herbs which were used for teas, and there was stuff for like powders and other medicines.
他们这里啊，主要分2块，像我的右手边这一块，这些瓶瓶罐罐的里面。
There were 2 sections here on my right-hand side with all of these bottles that actually contain the herbs and some tea. And on the left side,
介绍一下，着重介绍一下。
there are some of the
这些是
powders
青蛙
that
蟾蜍，
or animals that they are using in the past.
还有昆虫。
We can see some of the models, the bats, the hawks, and other insects.
To avoid Black Death, to try not to get the plague. So it was a very difficult disease which killed most of the people during medieval times, but that was the cure for it.
凯瑟琳说啊，这个青蛙和蟾蜍在600年前的时候，
And Catherine just told us that
是饱
for
受
the frog
黑死病
in 600 years ago,
很残酷的一种疾病。那么当时的爱
at
沙
that
尼亚
time
就用
there was a epidemic of plague in the medieval times. So that's how people treat themselves, with frogs.
And we can see the hooligans here as well. And it's also for the Black Death.
This was more spiritual. It made the disease leave the house, so the other family members couldn't get the disease. So that's why they burned the hedgehog.
看来过去的爱沙尼亚人也相信迷信，他们在当时啊，就是 比如说家中
It feels like
有
in the
遗产
past,
或者是
it is quite
曾经有人
superstitious
感染
in the Estonian.
随后去世的话，
In the past, if one of the member was infected by the plague,
来驱散这种
Then
恶灵，来给家里带
they
来
will
这种健康和好运。
kill one of the hog
And 我
in order to bring good luck for the other family members.
It was also something that was added to the medicine to cure the like blood diseases and heart diseases. So it was also something that was supposed to help with blood circulation and heart diseases.
而对于这个蝙蝠和昆虫，这些是当时用于治疗心血管
And for the
疾病
bat and other
心脏
insects,
还有这个血液循环方面的一些。
so these are also some of the key medicine and to help to cure
Some snakes here.
some of the disease.
The snake was made into either like grease or fat or vodka then, and it was for joints, and the vodka was for the bug bites to heal them.
看来过去的人呢，也跟我们一样有这种传统啊，他们把这个蛇还有
You can see that the ancient people have the same kind of tradition with us,
这样去治疗过去被昆虫啊
because we can see they will put the lizard or the snake into alcohol.
病人来治疗他们的这个疾病。
So this can help people to recover from the wound.
可以看到跟我们现在的喝的那种泡酒很相像。看来中西文化还是
This is very familiar to what we are drinking nowadays. For example, the snake alcohol.
一些
It seems like China have some similarities
这个
with this
料理里面用的
Europe culture.
一些道具。
And we also see some of the ancient devices.
搅拌器和捣碎器。好，这边还有一些容器。
This one is a blender. Also some containers on my right hand side.
凯瑟琳说，在过去他们也会把一些植物的叶子来药用。
Catherine told us that in the past they will also use some of the leaves of the plant as medicine. They will put the leaves in such kind of container for reservation.
就像我们如今喝的绿茶一样。
After some time, they will took out the leaves and use it as a medicine.
据说是有某种药效。
It seems like there was some
这个
kind
就
of
是过去的爱沙尼亚人
medical usage for those kind of leaves.
一个药店的样子。那么这个
So this is the traditional Estonia Pharmacy.
我们现在看，啊 they are like a wine, a special wine here.
Our pharmacy, there's 8 spices added. Also, like the world's most expensive spice, saffron, and it helps to stay healthy. Just for like, if you take it every day, you stay healthy. No diseases find you.
他说这个是他们根据过去的配方，我们可以看到上面的介绍是1467年。
So for this bottle of drink, the recipe is coming from
1467年的一个配方，这里面有一些酒啊，这个红酒、生姜，加上一些药用的
So
叶子，
there were red wines and some
价值呢
plants
500毫升，价格是16欧，
in 500 milliliter.
140块钱。
It is around 140 RMB, 16 euro for this bottle of wine.
So lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. 我们可以看到现在有很多游客已经慢慢的进来。
Now we can see we are having more people visiting this pharmacy store.
Sorry. Charging. 们现在朝古城墙那边走。
Now we're heading to the city wall of the old town.
现在接近塔林的正午时间。
Now it's noontime in Tallinn.
有很多在这里参观的游客。
You can see so many visitors.
城市的上城区走。现在这个区域
Now we are heading to the upper town.
和商人的一个聚集地。
For this area, it used to be the gathering site for the residents as well as the merchants. Now it is open to the public, and it has drawn thousands of visitors here in Tallinn.
现在朝城市的东北方走。
Now we are heading to the northeast part of the city.
30米之后，我们会来到一段城墙。这段城墙
Pretty soon we will see some city walls.
古城的上城区和下城区的一个
This
通
part
道
of city wall
这个
is
通道因为
connected
是
the
目前
upper
对游
town
客
and the
开放
lower
的通
town.
道，所以
This passage is
它也是
open
我
to the
们
public.
唯一能够看到和摸到古城墙的地方。
And this is the only place that we can touch and feel the ancient city wall.
地中海、波罗的海装饰的
We can see some of the antique shops selling some of the artifacts
时间关系，我们就
from the area of the
一一地
Baltic Sea.
进去看了。波罗的海啊，就包括爱沙尼亚、拉脱维亚和立陶宛，他们主要
So for the Baltic Sea area, it includes Estonia,
爱沙尼亚的古城中
Latvia, and also the Republic of Lithuania. So amber is very famous in this area.
感兴趣的游客可以过来看一下。
So if you are interested, you can take a look to these shops.
在波罗的海三国里，以拉脱维亚和立陶宛出产的
For the three countries in the Baltic Sea
因为他们有
area, amber very famous from Latvia and the Republic of Lithuania.
我们看到这个相对比较大的红色尖顶的
Now we can see this architect with red
这个通道
steeple.
通道，我们沿着这里上
So here we go for the
代表
passage
权力象
of
征
the
的
city wall.
上城区。
Now we are coming to the upper town, which represents power and nobility. 如果我们朝下面走的话，可以看到，我们看到这个地上基本上都是这种鹅卵石铺的路。 Now we can see this road
这
paved
里我们就
with the
来到
cobblestone.
这段古城墙，这个路
Now we are at the site where we can see some of the ancient city wall.
有很多人来这里拍照啊，还有
Some people
一些画
took
家
photos here,
坐在这里
and some
把
of
他们
the
的所见所闻
painters, artists,
画下来。
they're drawing some of the photos according to their experience.
可以看到现在两边都是塔林的古城墙，
So the two sides are actually the ancient city wall.
10米左右。
So for the height of the city wall is around 10 meters.
这个在如今看来，轻而易举就能够看到、摸到、爬到的古城墙，在过去
Currently it's very easy, so you can touch and feel the city wall.
贵宾
But in the
还
past,
有皇室的成员
only those soldiers from the royal families have the qualification to get inside this kind of passage and take a look at the city wall.
在右边街角的地方，有一些艺术家在这里进行创作。
Again, we see some artists.
上面有一幅，这幅是 ，Hi， yeah, it's lovely。这里面每幅画卖30欧。
So each one of the painting, he will sell it at around 30 euro. It's around 180 RMB
看到的这个景，
per
刚
piece.
才我过来的时候，他画的就是这一幅。现在我们朝上继续走。 据塔林市旅游局的介绍说，这些城墙
According to the Tourism Bureau of
是
Tallinn,
13
for all of this city wall, it was first built
所以
in 13th century to 15th century.
它的时间已经超过了
So it's a really long time of history. And the time is actually exceeded the time that we have for the main Great Wall. So this is very classic medieval times architect. And all of the city wall are well preserved.
这里的话，可以看到一些很漂亮的建筑。
If we are looking up, we can see other beautiful architectures.
这种深色的这个建筑就是芬兰驻爱沙尼亚使馆。
So for this one, it is actually the
昨天我们也抽空
embassy,
过来打听一下，他们这个
the Finland
使领
embassy
馆
at
在塔林古
Estonia.
城的这种位置的设置，也说明了两个国家的关系。
For this location, we can see the sound
德
relations
国的国旗。
between Tallinn,
我们
between
看
Estonia
这个白色的上面插的是一个
and
是
Finland.
芬兰的国旗，待会儿我们转过去可以看到。
Actually, we just
所以使领馆
passed
的
the
分布位
Spanish
置
embassy, and for this one is the Finland
印证
embassy.
了他们国家跟爱沙尼亚之间的这个关系的亲密程度。
So for this location, we can see very good relation between
现在走
the
了
Republic
大
of
约200米
Estonia and Finland.
它连接了城市的下城区和上城区。
So we have passed around 200 meters, and for this passage, it actually connecting the
上城区
upper town and the lower town.
和
And for
过
the
去的大主教
lower town,
一些
it
宗教
actually represents
我们现在
the
正对的这个
residents, the daily life of the people, and for the upper town, it represents the nobility and also the government
这个教
entities.
堂是由俄国沙皇来
And for
建造
this church,
时间
it's
在
very famous Orthodox Eastern Church, and this was built by the Tsar from the Russian
为
Empire.
数不多的苏联和俄罗斯的痕迹。
This is one of the few Orthodox Eastern Church that with
这里啊
Russian style
塔林
in
有
Tallinn.
3座教堂，刚才我们过来了一个，
We have 3 churches
左边有一
in
个，右
Tallinn.
边有一个，
We have just passed one, and now we see 2, one on the left,
而右边
one on the right side.
就是
And for the
它
left one, it is the traditional
的圣
Orthodox
母大教堂，
Eastern Church.
穿过
And for the right side, it is the St.
我
Mary
们就到达
Church.
它的最高权力机关，也就是总理府。
Pretty soon we will arrive at its highest
总理
authority of Tallinn, which is the presidential house.
议员，也就是国家权力的掌握者。
So the president has the highest authority of the nation,
这边有国旗，看来这是，
and also see other national flags here.
这里就进入了使馆区。
Now we are entering to the embassy area.
这个塔林的上城区在过去只对宗教人士和
For the upper town of Tallinn,
高端人士
it only used to open to the nobilities and upper class personnels.
可以看到这个比较古老，依然保持着很
This is another ancient architecture, also very well preserved.
前方左手边的位置就是他们的总理府，这个白色的。
On the left side, it is the presidential palace.
因为这个爱沙尼亚，它的地理位置比较特殊，它的
Because of the
左边
unique
是
geographic condition of Estonia,
北欧，
because on the left side, it connects to Germany and the northern Europe, and on the right side,
所以
it is
从
border to Russia.
塔林老城建造开始，建造的时候是12到13世纪，一直到现在，
So
可以说大大小小
we
的
can
改变有
see
很多。
a lot of different unique features are integrated into the design of the old
是
town.
目前它的境内，爱沙尼亚
For
境内
this
是
old
最
town,
完好的。
it has suffered from numerous warfares, but now it is the well-preserved heritage site in Estonia.
新闻频道制作一条短片来采访爱沙尼亚的古城保护专家，
Pretty soon, we will also show you a
爱沙尼亚
video
总理的顾问。
to better understand the preservation and the history of Tallinn.
城墙维护经验。
And also, we will want him to give us more knowledge about the maintenance and the preservation of the city wall of
白
Tallinn.
色的建筑就是爱沙尼
On
亚
the left side,
总理
the yellow architecture, it is the
在去年
presidential palace.
来这里曾经采访过爱沙尼亚的总理拉达斯。
We used to came here last year to introduce and to interview with the president of Estonia.
这也是爱沙尼亚的最高权力机关。
This is the highest authorities
前
site for
我
Estonia.
们就来到城市的观景台，这也是我们这次直播的最后一站。
Now we are about to arrive at the viewing platform, which is the last stop of our live streaming.
它时间错过了。这里也是游客过来观光最多的地方。
We also see many visitors come to this viewing platform.
可以看到这里啊，很漂亮。前方
Very
这个
beautiful
黑色
scenery
建筑的
here.
地方就是刚才我们
And for the
说过的
black steeple architect, we have
而
just
这
passed
些
by.
标志性的圆
It
柱
is the
形
town hall building.
红色尖顶的建筑
And for
是我们
those
各个
red steeple
城墙堡垒
architects, these are the ancient fortresses and castles.
的全景。
And this is a holistic view
而
of
放
the
眼
old
望
town
去
of
这
Tallinn.
边是整个塔林的一个现代化的市中心，
And also we can see the modernized city center of Tallinn.
而远处能看到穿梭于波罗的海各国之间的
If you take a further look, you can see the cruise that was
塔
passing
林古城带来很
on
多
the
游客
Baltic Sea. All of these cruises actually have brought business opportunities to Tallinn.
远处隔海相望的那个电视塔，那边就是塔林的县城，就是现在的城区，这边是它的古城区。
And also, we can see the comparison between the old town and the new town from Tallinn.
而这边我们朝前面走，这个白色的建筑是爱沙尼亚
And
最
for
高的
this
权力
white
机关
architecture,
总理府，
it is
爱
the
沙尼亚现总理拉塔斯
presidential palace.
就在这里。
So Latas, Mr. Latas, the current president, that is his office.
那么从这里这下边有一个出口，我们请摄像老师照一下，举起来。这边有一个出口。
There was an exit
这个出口
over there. Let's take a closer look. If we follow this path in 50 meters, so you can leave the old town and enter onto the highway.
本场直播就告一段落。
Now we have come to the end of the live streaming.
我们稍后会采访塔林的市长以及
Later, we will interview the mayor of
为我台
Tallinn
频道和综合频道公告，请大家也继续
and bring you more information about Tallinn.
以上
Please stay
就是本
tuned.
场新媒体直播的全部内容。
That's the end of this live streaming. Thank you for watching. See you next time.